Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Hannah Yu, Curator of Public Programs at the Fowler Museum at UCLA. The Fowler is thrilled to announce the launch of its online collections portal, a growing public database highlighting works in the museum's care. Today, Mellon Collections Information Coordinator Kate Anderson will show us a deep dive into the Fowler holdings. Kate Anderson is the Mellon Collections Information Coordinator at the Fowler, where she has worked to make the Fowler's internal database accessible to the wider public. She has received her master's degree in history and museum studies from Tufts University and has previously worked at the Autry Museum of the American West and Adamson House Museum. If you have any questions during the program, please submit them through the question and answer function found at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You can submit and upvote entries that you would like to be considered to be answered by Kate throughout the program. And now, over to you, Kate.
Hi, thanks, Hannah. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay, can we all see that? Okay. Yeah, thanks for the intro, Hannah, and thank you all for joining us. I'm Kate Anderson. This is just going to be a brief program on our online collections portal, which we did a soft launch of in like June. It's been on the website since then, but it's been growing ever since. This is just sort of meant to introduce some of the features of the portal. And give you a sense of really some of its quirks, especially when it comes to searching, to help you get the most out of your results. We've been working on this for probably about a year, so thank you to everybody at the Fowler who has supported this work so far. Okay, so what is the Fowler's public portal? It's a searchable version of the museum's internal collections management database, which is called Argus. We used to have what's called collections online on our website. There were about 2,000 Fowler objects in that. So it was a little more limited in what we were presenting. And also it wasn't directly connected to our database. So if I made changes in one, I had to go make changes in the other. So you can end up with discrepancies in information. Now, if we make an update or add information to an object record, you guys would see that immediately. Our public portal is web-based and accessible to anyone. It's desktop and mobile compatible. We've been kind of keeping in mind, talking with colleagues, over the years, especially based on the African continent, people tend to access the internet through their phones primarily rather than desktop. So we kind of built this with the mobile experience in mind too, the entire way. So the portal is constantly growing, both in records available and the associated metadata. This is something I work on a regular basis, and I work with my colleagues here to get more information into the portal and more records to kind of keep in line with what do we want to see on the portal. This is really meant for a couple different audiences: students, researchers, educators, but maybe most importantly, people all over the world whose material culture is now held at the Fowler Museum. We want this material to be accessible to them, and we want to be able to start or build communication relationships. What you'll find on the Fowler's public portal: images and metadata about works held in the Fowler's care. So object names, accession numbers, which are the unique numbers we assign to each object, cultural and geographic origins, exhibition labels and publications. That's really ongoing. We have a couple people working on getting more of our exhibition history into the portal, so that that information is not lost and is available. And known provenance. So if we know the history of an object's movement, we try to include that when we have that information. We also have an on view tab, so you can see what's currently up in each of the galleries. We have some past exhibitions. So this is another thing I'm working on. Some of them they're there. It's just an ongoing process. Collection highlights, so maybe things that somebody in particular has been working on in the museum, that we've put together more contextual information about a group of objects. And in some cases, there are works that the Fowler has restituted, but this is really on a case-by-case basis, like such as the Asante material that was returned to Ghana earlier this year. But what you will not find on the portal, first and foremost, is archaeological material. For one, this is managed in a separate database, and two, a lot of that is covered through NAGPRA or Cal NAGPRA. So those are the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. So we would not post anything that would be considered burial goods or anything like that that's being considered for repatriation. And then related to that is the majority of Native belongings, per some new regulations about display of cultural heritage that came out more recently, like this year, that states that if you want to display any Native material, you must consult and get approval to display that. So we've been kind of erring on the side of caution with this. If we wouldn't display it in person, we're also not going to display it digitally. So there are some exceptions to this, things that are in our permanent gallery, in intersections, that was done with consultation. So those you'll find on the portal. But by and large, Native belongings, you're probably not going to find in the portal. And then lastly are object records that I haven't gotten to yet. So I kind of go through and make sure our records are, with that, some of the main fields in the records are clean, accurate, make sure the data is in the right place, just to prevent confusion with searching or, obviously wrong information or something like that. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna check out the portal, which you can get through to right from our website. If I can click on it. Okay, so this is our website, the landing page. If you go to collections and scroll down a bit, search the digital collections, and then here we are. So the first thing you'll notice is this, on the landing page, our disclaimer to kind of just give you a heads up that, we may have archival information that contains, out-of-date, offensive, racist terminology that were part of old descriptive practices and frameworks. We try to make as much of our archival material available as possible, but some of that is 100+ years old. So it's just something to keep in mind. We would not describe people and things now the way that that was done then. So just something to be aware of. And then here is our general collections email. If there's any issues you spot with any records, something that should not be displayed at all, and then we can address that. Another thing to kind of take a look at is this right here, available records out of about how many we have. Generally with museum databases, you don't really have a sense of how much they're displaying in the database versus what they're not. I think this kind of gives the impression that, it's all in there when it's actually not. So we're trying to be transparent about what we have on the portal, what progress we still need to make. So you'll see this number change and grow over time. And I think, the thing we want to point out here the most today is these tips on how to use the database. So this is really so you can get the most out of your searching. There are some things about it. that we want to draw your attention to. This is not Google. So it's not going to make, intuitive connections between terms that are related. It's just looking for the keyword search. So if you are looking for masks and you type masks instead of mask, you're going to get way fewer results because it's looking for the whole word masks. So it's something to keep in mind. And then same with continents and countries. So if you're looking for Mexican ceramics, there's a good chance that Mexico is going to be in the object record, but Mexican will probably not be there. And maybe something else to keep in mind is that cultural and tribal groups can have more than one spelling, or maybe the way it's traditionally been spelled has been changed over the years. So if you're not getting many results with one, you can try that with another. So if I look at, like, let's say Ashanti, I'm getting 10 records. Or if I look at Asante, I'm going to get 49 records. So it's something to keep in mind. This is something I'm working on standardizing, but it's just a process, and we'll get there. But yeah, so we want to make sure that people get the most out of their searching. Same with, terms that you might think are one word or two. So if I type in house post as one word, I get 1. And then if I do two different words, I get 9. So yeah, again, this is something we're working on standardizing, but for now, just try both, or try whatever combination you can think of to get the most results. So let's look at an object record and what you can do with it. So usually there will be an image, at least one image. You'll find the collection, the object ID, so this is its individual object number. A name, usually, a lot of times you'll get one in English and then one in the vernacular language as well. So in this case, this is a Yoruba house post. You'll see the cultural group, geography, materials, techniques, some other associated information. This is where we try to outline provenance. So everything, whatever we know about the object's movements that eventually led to this piece getting here. And then, so you'll see question marks in there sometimes. If we don't know something, we try to be transparent about, like, we don't know this. So that'll be here. In this case, this piece, this house post is currently on display, so you'll see that in Joss Gallery. We have related documents, PDFs, JPEGs, that'll have more information. So you can, this is all accessible to you. And then in this case, this object has some embedded media associated with it. So you can check out some amazing research that my colleagues Carlee and Erica have worked on. See, and then if it was in an exhibition, there will be label copy. So this is another one that's ongoing. We're actively working to get more label copy into Argus right now. So hopefully this is something that continues to grow. So some other things you can do in an object record, you can submit a research request. So up here in the top, it'll ask you for some important information, your contact information, your proposal, to see that we can accommodate a research request. That would be like a visit to collections. So make sure you fill that out. We can also create a shareable URL right here. And then you can share that URL with somebody else. So that's there. We're also interested in any information that anybody would have to contribute about these objects, especially if it looks like we don't have much information in here. We're always open to hearing more. We've already gotten some good feedback through this function. So this has been helpful. So if you know something, that's where you do it. I can show you that here. Name, email, and such, any affiliations, and what you have. You can also attach images here as well. You can also request an image of this work. This leads to an email for that would go to our photographer. Keep in mind a fee could apply. And then this is a new thing that we just added. So if something is included in a collection highlight, it'll say so in the object record. You can click on that and it'll take you to the collection highlights. So this will have a little more contextual information about a group of objects. So we've got 4 up here now. I'm preparing a few more that'll be on the way. And then you can see all the objects associated with this group. So yeah, and then here's the on view function that we also just implemented. So if we want to see what's in Joss Gallery, there we are. So something to keep in mind here for on view, and then also for the past exhibitions, is that we don't have loaned works in here. So if for like Sangre de Nopal, many of those are loans. They're in Lucas Gallery right now. You're not going to find those here. But you could find works from the Fowler's care that are on display in past exhibitions or on view. So if you want to see, Asafo flags, click, and there we are. Okay, we also have an advanced search option. Same thing here with the tips to keep in mind. Yeah, this is it's a work in progress. We've done a lot so far, but it's something we'll keep working on. So if you don't find something, if something doesn't work quite as you expect, we're always welcome to feedback. So it's right here, the Fowler Collections email. Yeah, that's kind of it for my spiel. I'm open to any questions or anything that you guys might have.
So we encourage the audience to submit questions through the Q&A portal. Carlee and I have been answering a couple of them during your ongoing presentation. Here's one from Christine Brown. What is the My Favorite section in the online portal?
So that's we don't really use this function a lot, but you can kind of like save different object records into the My Favorite section, and then you can submit research requests through there. I haven't used it much yet, but yeah, you can like sort of like create your own like grouping of object records that you've been looking at.
Do we have a couple more questions related to the portal? Kate is here to answer everything you're curious about. And I believe if you have any follow-up questions, Kate, the audience is able to submit it through the collections portal as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where would they have to go to submit their questions?
So it's the Fowler Collections email. So if you're on the landing page of the portal, in the second paragraph there's an email. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, if you could maybe share your screen. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there, Fowler Collections at arts.ucla.edu. Yeah, let's see. I did get a question that I'm very thankful for you for about cultures that are being talked about today. Why isn't someone from those cultures presenting this information? I think that's a reasonable, valid question. I'm just the person who kind of put the portal together. It's not my really intention to talk about the cultures themselves, but to make this information more available. We hope that by putting more information out there and having more ways to connect with people, that we can have more voices from those places, those cultures, in a better dialogue with our collection and with our staff. So this is really to make our presence more felt and more visible, so that we can, that we really can like have many voices and reach out to people. Because if it's not, if the collection's not out there, then people aren't going to see it. They're not going to know what we have. And then we can't build those relationships. We can't return objects if that's what we want to do, or if that's what the cultures want to do, or if those people, want to interpret those things differently. This is the way that we can allow for a better dialogue. And if you, so I have another one about a comment that was submitted through our feedback. We review submissions kind of on a periodic basis. So if it hasn't been approved and added to the portal yet, we haven't met to do that process. So we do that as a group rather than me individually doing it.
Okay, we're near the close of this online program today. If you have further questions, please feel free to submit your questions via the collections page, the collections email provided, which Kate shared with you all. And Kate, thank you so much for giving us all a walkthrough of the Fowler's online collections portal. We received several interesting questions and comments. Thank you for everyone's participation today. Today was an overview of how to use the Fowler Collections portal to dive deep into the Fowler holdings. If you would like to learn more, please join us virtually on November 21st for another Lunch and Learn led by Kate and this time Carlee, where they will be focusing on student research and resources at the Fowler. Be sure to sign up for a newsletter to learn more about upcoming programs. Today's program has been recorded and will be uploaded to the Fowler website for you to revisit and share in a few weeks. I hope you will join us for our upcoming public programs at the Fowler. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Thank you. Bye.